All dog tags normal for Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes. Helipad, tag 0, 1, and 2. So you can go either the right side or the left side to start. It's purely personal preference. We're going to go along this noisy tile, hold up this guard,
Don't kill me.
and just do a body trank so that he'll fall asleep eventually. Then you want to body bump him to lure this guard down. This is the awkward part, is holding this guard up just before he turns the corner.
Please, don't.
Then just roll straight down the stairs, and then just walk along the noisy floor to lure the sleep event guard over, hold him up, and you don't need to trank him, you can just walk on through once he drops the tag. Tank Hangar, tags 3 and 4, we'll get 5 later. So this is the slower strat by a couple of seconds, but it's a little bit easier. Get around the tank, hold this guard up,
Don't kill me.
and then just wait for this lower guard to come into position. Hold him up, and then trank the other guard while he's lowering his hands. Go pick up the other tag and head down to the cell area. It's best to do these guards now because they're both on the first floor. Now you can lure the top guard over by using the noisy little panel on the floor. Then you hold up the left guard first. And while he's shaking down, hold up the second guard. And you don't need to trank either of these guards, you can just bump into them and then go to the elevator button. It saves about a couple seconds or so. Armory, tags 6 and 7. We'll get 8 later. So this is the double knock strat. You need to knock just above that line, and then I roll up just so I can get out as early as possible. And then I go up so they don't see me out of their periphery while they go investigate the noise. Then hold them up when they're right next to each other and leave. You gotta be very fast with the double knock and leave quickly. That way they get baited by the noise and not by you. Tag 23, Johnny Sasaki. So you have to do this after you fight the ninja, and you need this tag right now, you can't get it later. Knock on the wall, lure Meryl over, and then stand in this position. She'll run into you and you can just easily choke, and then do 2 punches right after each other. There's a certain rhythm to the punches, so you don't want to like mash it, so you can get that easy groin punch. Tag 25, Psycho Mantis. This is just a tag you pick up after you defeat Mantis. Don't forget to do it. Tag 24, Meryl. So it's best to get her in the caves. That way you'll skip the dialogue from her. Just trank her in the head once you get to the door. Tags 12 and 13. Now you can get both of these right now, but the cycle is pretty tight. I would suggest just getting the office guard. Wait for a moment at the door to lure this guard over, and then hold him up once he goes through the door. Then you have a chance to pick up the pentaz. Then bump into Steven and just exit. Again, you can go get the urinal guard, but if you're not fast enough, he'll turn and see you, which is not good. After torture, we can come back to Armory for tag 8, because this guard guards the PSG-1. First strat is to throw a throwable across to distract the lower guard away.
No. Please.
You need to make sure it has enough power, and you gotta throw it in time for him to hear it. I find this strat to be a little bit awkward. It's also a little bit slower than the next strat, the knock lure. So a couple seconds faster. Knock on the top corner, and then hold up this guard as he turns the corner. And then you're going to trank this guard when he sees you shake down Carlos again. And make sure you get out as quickly as possible before he calls in the alert. If you want to be safe, you could trank him before you leave. This is now when we're going to get tag 5. This is the guard guarding the suppressor for the SOCOM, which is something we're going to need for the next set of guards. You don't need to roll or do anything crazy here. Just run up behind this guard.
No. Please.
And hold them up.
Don't.
And equip the SOCOM suppressor now, because we're going to be using it in the canyon for the next strat. Canyon tags 9, 10, 11. So this strat's a little bit tricky. You're going to hold up and trank this guard at the same time. Hold him up with the SOCOM and then shoot the camera while you're waiting. Then he'll fall asleep because you shot the trank early enough. Then take out the other camera while you're holding up this guard. And if you're fast enough, you go in this position, this guard will walk along the wall. Depending on your speed, you can take different paths. Those grenades are free to pick up, which is nice. You can use that on the climb up the tower at the very start if you want. Tricky room, take some practice. Tag 12, this is the Urinal guard, which you can pick up after torture. This causes you to do another menu, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. You lose a little bit of time versus doing it when you pick up the PSG-1T. Pretty simple. It's up to you whether you want to do it earlier or later. Tag 26, Sniper Wolf. The important thing here is that you have to grab her from the legs. You can't grab her from her head. Snake finds it disrespectful. Blast Furnace, tags 14 and 15. So we're going to distract the guard on the opposite side while we're holding up the guard at the catwalk. Make sure to roll just before the noisy surface and trank the guard while you're doing so. Then shoot the SOCOM along the wall so you can lure that guard down. That way that guard stays down below. You don't have to chase him up the stairs. Make sure to roll before the noisy surface so he doesn't hear it. Hold him up and get the tag.
Don't kill me.
Tag 27, Vulcan Raven. After you defeat Vulcan Raven, come back down to the starting door to pick up his tag. Tags 19 and 20, Warehouse North. This area is actually harder on normal compared to extreme. You gotta wait a moment for this guard to move, hold up that guard, and then you're gonna be rotating quickly to shoot the wall to distract this guard. And while his second exclamation mark is up, shoot the guard, then hold him up. Due to the rotations and how the guards are positioned, it's a lot harder than on extreme. You don't actually need to kill that guard if you don't want to. Underground base, tags 21 and 22. So the best way to approach this area is to use daze shots. So we're going to shoot the white exclamation mark. The first one is very easy. As long as you're moving quickly, you'll have him in that position and get an easy shot on the exclamation mark.
Freeze.
And then since he's right at the wall, he'll fall over when you shoot with the SOCOM. The second guard's a little bit more tricky because depending on your speed, he may be in different positions, so this daze shot's a little bit more tricky. If you wanted to, you could trank the guard and then punch him to wake up or shoot him with the SOCOM in his limbs to wake him up rather than doing this daze shot. It's up to you. After you get the PAL card, you want to return to the warehouse because that's the last set of guards we need to get. Tags 16, 17, and 18. This is a fairly standard strat. The hardest part is holding up the left guard before he turns. But once you get that down, you're just going to make them shake down with the hold up. And then wait until this guard Gets past the corner to hold him up.
Freeze.
And you don't need to trank anyone, you can just leave.
Don't.
And that's all the guards. All that's left is Liquid Snake, tag 28. And all you gotta do is make sure to knock him off the platform to get his tag during the fight. After all is said and done, go back to Special at the main menu with a save completed and check out your 100% dog tags from the dog tag viewer. That's the route.